I'm Kim.
And we are glad you're joining us today for chat about stitching and other stuff. Today is, I don't know, March
17th.
20th, 2025. I don't know still. January 17th, 2021. We made it another week. Woo! Go humankind.
We haven't imploded.
Oh my gosh. So welcome to our video where we chat about our stitching. We don't have any little girls with us today. They are out playing with friends. They actually did do some stitching or weaving. Like some of them were weaving, and I don't know how much cross stitching was happening this week, but they were all set to kind of share, and then the neighbor kids showed up, so they all went out.
They ditched us for a better gig.
They ditched me, but I always tell them, I never will make you be in the video. It's only if you want to. So if you want to today, maybe next week.
I want you all to notice that I did, for the first time in years, I did put eyeshadow on.
Ooh, wow, you look fancy today.
Okay, and the whole time I'm putting it on, I'm thinking about that, and I was laughing. So you remember, I don't even know if it's still a thing, but a year or two ago, smoky eye was a really big deal. The models had and I remember seeing memes all over the internet where somebody would say, I really want to do smoky eye, and then you flip through and they go, I nailed it, and it's just eyeshadow everywhere. That's what I felt like. In fact, I had to dig through the bottom of my drawer to even find some eyeshadow, and I don't even think you can tell I have it on, but
I can't really see. I mean, I kind of can. Close your eyes. Okay, now I see it.
I want you to know I got all fancy for everybody this week.
Wow, eyeshadow and everything. I took a shower, so my hair is not wet anymore.
I have no food in my teeth, too.
Well, we're doing really good then. Welcome to 2021, where we took a shower and we
clothes on. I told Sarah, I think a while ago, that, the nice thing about having to wear a mask everywhere you go is if you've eaten something in your car and you run into the store, you don't have to worry about it. There's food in your teeth. Nobody can see it.
I know. I was debating yesterday. We were talking on the phone, and I was like, well, I should go to Hobby Lobby. I had some stuff I wanted to pick up to get ready for a few things, and you'll see today. But I was like, but I don't know. Like, I maybe need a shower. She goes, just put on your mask and some mascara. I was like, well, I'm not even going to do the mascara. I'll just put a baseball hat on so you can't see my eyes and you can't see my mouth. And then it's just easy. I did get dressed. I put on jeans, and I think I was dressed, but it was like workout clothes because I had to.
I bet you looked overdressed there too, because I'm sure there were a lot of people shopping in their pajama pants.
I probably did.
Or slippers.
People with jeans on. Therapeutic shopping doesn't require clothes. Well, it really doesn't when you shop from home.
No, it does not. Well, in big news in my life, Sarah already knows this, but I went and got my COVID shot yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
And, so I am here. I did not die.
That picture you posted, you sent it to me, and I showed it to Jessie. I was like, she doesn't look like she's doing so great about this, because it was when you were on your way to COVID, and you kind of look like you're smiling, but you look a little like,
scrunched up, didn't I? Like, I if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen me post about it. But this is a big deal in my life, because I'm not really anti-medical. I'm not anti-vaccine. I know people are. This is not a judgment on anybody, but this vaccine is a really big deal. It's not just like going and getting your flu shot every year. This felt like a much bigger deal, and with a lot more, I wouldn't say there's a lot more risk, but there's a little more risk because, of course, we all know it hasn't been trialed for 10 years. Huh?
Maybe a little more unknowns.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a little risky for me. Like I'm not a really big risk taker. But I did it, and I had quite a long drive to get to the clinic that I could get an appointment for. And I was driving the back roads there, and my husband called me to see if I was on my way, and I was. And right before he called me, I had music on, and that song, it's a popular pop tune, came on. It was This Is Going to Be the Best Day of My Life. And I'm not going to sing it for you. You can Google it. But anyway, it's a real upbeat song, and I'm like bopping around, and I'm thinking, oh, this is really fitting. And then all of a sudden I had tears coming down my eyes, and I'm like, well, why in the world am I crying? And because I'd been thinking about everything. I've been thinking about my mom. My mom's birthday was Friday and I got my shot on Saturday. I've been thinking about just how crappy 2020 was for so many people, and so much loss, not just in our life, but in so many people's lives. And the people that aren't going to get a chance to get this shot, or people that are waiting desperately for this shot, and older people that haven't seen their grandkids for a year because they're so afraid. And gratefulness that people signed up to be in the trial. I mean, talk about risk takers, or the frontline workers that got it in December, the first people to really mass get it. And to make matters a little bit more icky was that we had an extended family member text me, and we were chatting just briefly about it, and he said, well, good, you can just be a guinea pig. And so I had that in my mind. And but then at the end of it, and I was talking to Sarah, and I also was talking to a good friend of mine who was getting her, a coworker of mine, because we got ours through work, because of our work. She was getting hers later in the day, and so I had called her to tell her that I'd gotten mine and how it had gone. And she said, Kim, we're not guinea pigs, we're pioneers. And I thought, it just made it feel better, just to get a different label to it. But I also, as we were talking, I thought, what really was the overwhelming reason I was crying, I think, is that there was a glimmer of hope. I think for the first time in a long time, there was hope that we can lick this thing, hopefully, right? Anyway, it went fine. It went fast. I didn't have any weird reactions. I feel a little punky today, a little bit, not quite as peppy. I feel better now than I did an hour ago. I took some Tylenol, but I was kind of feeling achy and just kind of, Yesterday I kind of had a headache, but I think that's the worst. And my follow-up shot is the next long weekend that we have, which is President's Week. And I am bracing myself, because I think that's going to be a little bit worse reaction, because that's when people do, but some people don't, but I tend to react. So I'm not under any illusion. So anyway, I did it, and people were so sweet online on Instagram and Facebook. There's a lot of people that are waiting. And one gal who I found her on Instagram, or actually through blogging and through Ravelry and knitting. She's Lefty Crafter, I think is her handle on Instagram. And she's just been around for a long time. She's the sweetest gal, lives down in Texas. And I had posted about the guinea pig / pioneer, and she goes, well, we're waiting, and I'm going to be a pioneer with you, or something. And it was just really sweet. So there are very nice people out there to combat the rude ones. But that's the big event in my life. Otherwise, I worked, slept, cross-stitched.
That's
rinse and repeat. That was it. So yeah, nothing new in your life either?
I did school. Cleaned the house. I did school. I cleaned the house. I cooked some meals. I did school. I cleaned the house. I cross-stitched at night sometimes. I was gonna say, I feel like, so I've had 2020, like Mom was just saying, like, it's been hard for everyone for like a myriad of reasons. And so I had several different reasons, even than your reasons for what were hard. Like everybody has their own individual things. And I just feel like it caught up to me earlier this week. And I think kind of along the veins of what you were saying is that I just didn't feel good. Like my heart is broken over some things right now. And it's okay to just have my heart be broken. And I just thought I would just say that to my friends here, because it's okay if your heart is breaking too. And it's okay if it's really hard to cross stitch even something that gives me delight. It was really hard a couple nights. I was just so tired. I cried. I had cried a bunch. My eyes were tired. I didn't even have the energy to get up to go to bed, but I didn't have the energy to pull out my cross. It was just one of those weeks where the burdens just felt very heavy. And I think probably there's people watching who have had that same experience. So yeah, I feel better now. Actually, I am reaching out to a counselor who can help me just talk through some of those heartbreaks, and I'm waiting to hear back. Hopefully they have room on their caseload. My husband he's in grad school. Right now it's all on Zoom, but he's in grad school for counseling. And so he thinks that we might qualify for free counseling through his school, like through the counseling department there. I'm not sure if that's true. So that was one of the questions. But even just when he said, you need to do that, I said, you're right, I do. And just sort of acquiesce. And I said, I need you to help me figure that out, because the process of finding a counselor is a little daunting. And I've tried a little bit. Like I saw a counselor earlier this year and it was fine. It just wasn't super helpful and I don't know, it just didn't click. And so I felt overwhelmed at the idea of trying again. And so the fact that he kind of helped me navigate and did a little research even about his schools, they're in Portland, but they're doing it all online. So that in itself just gave me like, kind of like you were saying, like a glimmer of hope, like, yeah, that's what I need to do. And that gives me hope that I'll feel better.
Because you're moving forward. Otherwise you just feel stuck. And I think a lot of us have just felt stuck in our lives right now. And probably I could do counseling and it would probably not hurt me. But what you said, the idea of trying to find somebody and do it, I just haven't done it. And
I needed him to like help me take that step. Just and there are easy ways to do that online. I was just in a hard enough spot that even the process of like doing that on Monday and Tuesday, I think on Wednesday, he sent me the link like on Tuesday or Wednesday, and finally Thursday or Friday, I think it was Thursday night, I finally was like, yes, I need to just sit down and deal with this and then move forward. So anyway, I don't know, that's a lot of like life updates. I know some people like that and don't, but it's okay to just not be okay.
Okay. And there maybe are people out there that just need that encouragement to reach out and get help. We all have read the articles and saw the news stories about how this has taken a toll on people's mental health and people that have never had mental health problems in their life.
I'm a little bit of a high-strung person probably, but I've never felt like this level of like sort of borderline depression, anxiety, difficulty just moving like through the days. Yeah. So I need to probably close my line. Just a sec. I won't even pause it. I'm just going to show
it. Well, I'll go ahead and start showing. I found, this is the most bizarre thing. Where did I find this? I found this in my bedroom closet. It was stuck on the side of a shelf that had a bunch of sweaters and stuff in it. And it's a shepherd's bush that I stitched a very long time ago. And I actually had bought the mat for it. You know, shepherd bush has those pretty little floral mats. I don't have it with me, but the mat doesn't fit in the frame that I bought for this originally, but it's just called Tender Heart. That's cute. Hold on a second.
You have it all ready to frame, except the mat doesn't. Will you have to just cut down the mat?
I'm not going to use the mat. I'm going to simplify it even more. There, put that bag behind it. It's pretty pale. Yeah, but I did it a long time ago. It's got the little button.
Cute.
And after I got my COVID shot, I felt like I needed a reward. So right across the street from the medical center where I got my shot is a development that's got a Home Goods in it.
I still haven't been to Home Goods.
Oh, well, my Home Goods that's by me always has a really big long line in it, and I'm not going to stand outside in the rain to get into their store. So I usually just go to TJ Maxx. But this Home Goods, I walked right up, got right in. When I got done shopping and doing some retail therapy and came out, there was a line for like 10, 12 people were in line to get in. So I just hit it just right. But I did buy a little frame.
Oh, cute.
So it's just going to go in a little frame.
That'll be cute.
Yeah. I mean, white's kind of stark, but for now, that's all. I was going to try to get it on sticky board last night, but by the time we had dinner, and I just didn't feel that great. I thought, nah, I'll do it later. But along with that, I bought little goodies to put in a white tier tray that I'm going to give Sarah a little video tour of. She could put it at the end of this video because I've never done a tier tray. I bought the tier tray for Cocoa Bar for my girls at Christmas time. And I don't really decorate for Valentine's Day, but my dining room table is really blah. There's just not, I don't really do great center. I do great elsewhere in my house, but my centerpieces always look kind of, so I'm going to put the tiered tray on there, and I put all this Valentine stuff in it. So there'll be a pop of color, and then I bought some baby shower gifts and some bridal shower gifts because we've got things happening in our family. But that's my previous finish, almost fully finished.
Almost FFO.
Shepherd's bush.
Yeah. One. I don't. So I have a couple now that I'm thinking of it that I'll pull out next time. Maybe one or not really Valentine-y. One of them is more Eastery because it's like a bunny, sort of springy though. Maybe I'll pull those out. But I don't really have anything to show on that front. So I guess I can show my bits.
Yeah. What have you been working on? You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Okay, so, oops. I worked on several different things this week. I mainly was focusing on my WIPGO. But really, I just put my hands on a lot of different things depending on what was making me feel good, because I just was having a rough week. And so if it looked good when I was kind of digging through I have a basket that has all my whips in it, and I was just kind of like flipping through, and if it felt good, I pulled it out. So I would maybe work a little bit on my WIPGO piece and then other stuff. So I worked on this Batukore Christmassy piece, and I'm still laboriously working on this house, but I think I must have pulled the white out for another project. So I really just kept going with, I was going to stop and fill in all this green and white, and then
Okay.
here's where we're gotten so far. That's the house.
Speaking of your white, you know how it's been hard to find in a lot of places? I saw somewhere today, some lady said, I just sent my husband to the store to get some DMC white. Please pray for him.
Good luck. Not only is it hard for a husband to find DMC, but white in particular.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm trying to get this in a good.
Are you using 5200 on that or just regular white? Do you remember?
I just think I'm doing the regular white. It doesn't look like 5200. I kind of wish I had, because I think it would pop more. I'm kind of thinking I might end up backstitching around the white of the house. It shows up a little better in person.
Yeah, it's showing up now.
It shows up a little bit.
Yeah, when you get closer.
It's all going to be green, and I think the heart is white. The hearts are white or something.
Okay.
So I'm just working up that house. It's just a lot of back and forth stitching, but it requires enough counting that it's not like really easy stitching, because you have to stop for each little heart. Or it probably would have made more sense if I had done the hearts and then filled in the like red. I didn't. I just kind of was trucking along on the house there. I kind of am eager to get that house done, because I feel like it's the only really big
thing in it.
That and the little porch around it. So
yeah, it's pretty big too.
It is pretty big. Oops, I think I lost a color out of there. Hang on. It is. It's bigger than I realized as I started stitching it. I was like, oh, it's going to go up and up and up. And then I worked on my Joyful World from Snowflower Diaries. That is, I'm just doing the border. I've showed it like, I don't know, a million times in the last year. So I have been, here's the piece.
Wait a minute. Have we done more videos than I thought we did?
What do you mean?
How can you have shown it a million times?
Okay, maybe not a million. Maybe less.
Was I asleep?
25. Yeah, you were sleeping through some of them.
Oh, but look at you go.
So I've got like the brown done all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
With ab workout. And then now I'm going back and filling in like the color, the flowers and the leaves along the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Cute.
Yeah. And I realized I'm a little off on one of them, and I think I'm just going to be like, too bad. It's just the brown.
It's not going to matter.
I missed one stitch, so some of it is like not, but I don't think it's going to matter.
I don't think it's going to matter.
Matter at the edge, at the corner where it has this fancy
budget there. You'll just put one less stitch there or something.
I know. I'm hoping it won't matter. Yeah, maybe I'll just do one more lower or something at that. Because I don't really want to tear that brown all the way back like 40.
I think you're at that point with that you know you can fudge.
Yeah.
Something you can fudge.
It's just that edge border, so it's not as like visually, and it's not like straight across where it's going to be an obvious jog. It's already kind of like.
Yeah.
I really actually wanted and kept working on this quite a lot, because it is really one of those therapeutic stitches for me. I really think it's because it's on even weave. I think I really, because every piece that I'm doing that's on even weave, it's like delightful. And I tend to want to pick it up more. So here's my Gathering Eggs from Nora Corbett.
She will make an appearance for me eventually. I think she's on my WIPGO.
Well, I've got like several, like my Hawk Run Hollowed, and I haven't pulled that out in a long time. But she is, I don't know, just really easy for me to work on. And so I was really filling in along the bottom of her dress. All that teal underneath the basket I pretty much did this week.
Wow.
I think I dropped my curtains a little too, my blinds. And so there's multiple kinds of teal, so I kind of was doing all of this.
There's so many color changes in her dress.
Well, and these are, remember last week I was talking about blends. This is a blend. So So it's this color plus the white,
Yeah.
one strand of the
It's
teal.
lighter. You can tell it's a lighter.
Yeah, it really is noticeable.
Uh-huh.
It just gives that feeling of like folds in the.
Sometimes when I do blends, I'm like, why did I just do that? You can't even really tell.
I know this one I can really tell.
Yeah, I can tell on that one.
Yeah, I can tell too. And it's not that bad to work with.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just not drawn to the blends, but
Yeah. There we go.
oops. And then I worked on both winter. Well, I worked on autumn, Things of Autumn from Alicia Paulson, one of the days.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show the picture.
I missed working on that.
I
need
know.
to get mine out.
And then here is, I was working on the apple in that top corner. I did the whole apple. And then this is it's like I don't know what kind of leaf it is. Not a maple leaf.
Oak leaf?
No, it's not an oak leaf. Aspen, maybe? No, it's not yellow.
Does she give it a name? I don't know what she calls it.
She probably just calls it leaf. Here, let me look. It might say. If she gives it a name, it would be in her back stitching directions.
Mm-hmm.
It says maple leaf veins, but there is a maple leaf in it. And there is an oak leaf in it, but that's not it. No, she just calls it the pink leaf.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe it's not. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Call it a sycamore leaf. They're pink.
Well, sycamore.
They don't look like it, but they're pink.
Oh, those aren't pink.
No, but their cones are.
Don't have cones.
Oh, wait, I'm thinking about a different one. Well, what's that tree by Grandpa's house? It's called a,
A pink cone?
yeah, they get real velvety leaves. Oh gosh, I'm totally drawing a blank. They're real velvety, and then they get these cone flowers on them, and they're just real velvety, and they're real deep maroon and pink color.
I have no idea. Dogwood? You're not talking about like a magnolia.
No. Okay.
I can't think what it was. It's loses its leaves too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Maybe you'll find a picture.
And I know the name because we used to climb in it, and it's a kind of a rare tree. And the neighbor when we were little girls used to get so mad, but theirs grew kind of like up and then out. So it made this perfect sitting on branch.
I wonder what that was. I cannot think what.
Oh,
probably
gosh.
thought I'd be like, oh yeah, that's that.
I don't know.
Well, if you think of it.
Yeah.
I worked on quite a bit. So my WIPGO piece that was called, I'm working on floss organization, as I've said before, for WIPGO, and I'm working on Tunnel of Trees for WIPGO, which was out of this cross stitch Halloween from 2019. And this is the lovely piece that I'm doing. And my goal was to work 8 hours, and I'm at 6 hours and 50 minutes. So I'm really quite close to finishing this goal. And oh, I love it. It is cute. And I feel like I'm getting more of a rhythm in working on it. At first, it was really hard for me to see the holes. And I think I'm figuring out, I do have to use the magnifier to really make it clear. Otherwise, I often have to like pull out stitches because I went over half of a stitch too far. But look at all that I've done. I was working mainly on the green and the grass. Here, let me fold it down a little.
It's a big project.
It is a lot of stitching. I was missing a couple colors. Let's see, quite a few colors for it actually. Yeah, so I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday and picked up the colors I was missing, like way more than I realized. I guess I was just stitching with what I already had on hand. So like I hadn't had the blue filled in here, the pale blue.
Oh, okay.
So the house is done now on this, I think. Yeah, the house is totally done. And
Yay.
This is the little girl, the Minnie Mouse. Can you see her?
Yeah, I can see her outline there.
And then these are little, I think, crows or something. And then there's like a house here and a house here, but they're smaller because they're like set back further. All the trees and the moon. It's really pretty. And that seems like that should be way more progress for almost 8 hours of stitching this month, but.
You know what? I've got so many pieces like that. Like with my Bringo, I'll say, oh yeah, I worked on this. You know, you only have to work an hour on each of your projects for most of them. And I sometimes just get in the rhythm and I think, oh, I worked for 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I'm looking at what I did and I'm like, they're going to think I'm lying. It doesn't even look like 1 hour.
We're watching a couple things this week that I was stitching during, and I was like, I think I'm probably stitching really slowly right now because I was watching probably more than I was stitching. Some shows I stitch more than I watch, and I can't remember what it was that we were watching. I feel like there was.
Yeah. Yep.
So I just knew I was stitching sort of slow. But last night, when I decided yesterday I would leave the house and go to Hobby Lobby, I left the house. It was like amazing. I was by myself in the car. I went to Hobby Lobby. I went to Panera Bread and got a soda, which they gave to me for free because the drive-through line was so slow. She was just like, take this. You were waiting forever. And I didn't want to tell her, but I was thinking, I actually didn't mind sitting in line. I was just talking to you on the phone for a while, and then I was listening to the podcast, and it was like a reason.
I'm out of the house.
Where else do I have to go? I'm just going to have to go home and clean more. Like,
I'm not in a hurry to get home, lady. Can I go back around?
But thanks. And she handed me a free cookie, and I was like, well, bonus. I got free time alone in the car, and I got a free soda and cookie.
Oh, that was sweet.
It was really nice. It just was one of those nice things.
Yeah.
So I decided to pick up the things. I was buying stuff for the SAL that we're going to start, the Barbara Anna that somebody gifted us that we're giving away this week for our giveaway. So I wanted to have fabric for that, which I'll show in a second, but when we do like haul. But I also thought, I've got this little piece. It's not a very hard, very long piece that I bought at that store in the Tri-Cities. Do you remember what that store is called?
Oh gosh, it's been several months.
I'll put it in the notes because it's nice to LNS. It's probably my closest LNS. It's about an hour and a half away from me.
Next time we come over, we should make a trip over there again. That was fun.
That would be fun. So I picked up this when we were there. I think this was in her little like sale bin too. It wasn't even like full price. From Cottage Garden Samplings. And what I didn't realize until yesterday when I was really looking at the directions on like fabric size and stuff is that it's 1 of 12. So it's designed to be stitched like the Joyful World where there's for every month. I'm not going to do that. I mean, maybe eventually I'll get the others, but I just love this one because I really want it. The girls, Jessie and one of the girls saw it and they was like, is that your Hawk Run Hollow? Because my stores at Hawk Run Hollow have like this exact same thing.
Did you look at the other 12 months or the other 12 pieces?
I briefly looked online at a picture and there are some really cute ones. So I might go back and see if I can just buy them individually, but I'm not stitching them all on one piece because I already started.
Well, then you could do the little, what I was going to do with the Joyful World then, just do one a month and put it on a magnet.
That's what I thought if I ever wanted.
It's different. It's a different kind of style than what.
It is. It's really kind of quaint. But when we were there at that store, I kind of was working on this morning. I cleaned it up in a hurry, but I bought the called for Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts threads, and then I picked up a couple DMCs yesterday. So here's the
pretty
Dye Works that are all the blues, and then there's a red that's all curled up. And then it also uses this, which I already had, the baby spinach.
Pretty.
And here's the DMCs.
It's a lot of colors.
I know, it really is for like a little project. So poppies are one of my favorite flowers. And so I love that it's poppies and I love lighthouses. And that's kind of what I've been thinking about doing for my summary is seeing.
You started that this week and you're already that far?
I started it last night. Yeah. I stitched it through 2 episodes of Bridgerton, that show I was telling you about earlier on Netflix, kind of like a Jane Austen-esque. If you haven't watched it and you like sort of Jane Austen, it feels a little like Jane Austen.
What are you stitching it on? What kind of fabric count?
This is 28 count, even weave. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if it's showing, but it's really pale blue. There, you can see it's a pale blue.
They have a nice pale blue that they carry all the time. Is it that Artiste?
It's it's this Weigart Artiste.
I've stitched several pieces on that fabric.
Yeah, me too. I think this is what my Gathering Eggs is on, but maybe I did her on 32 count.
Aren't you doing her on white though, right?
On white.
Yeah.
So again, it says, when the waves kiss your feet and the sand is your seed, which I love the ocean and I miss it. So that will make me happy when I see it, or it will make me sad. I don't know. I love going to the ocean though.
I do. I want to go now, but I'm sure everything's closed, so there's no sense in going.
The only other thing I have that I'm working on is the second of these packs. And I am really pretty close to starting to decrease for the toe. I thought I was going to try to have it done this week. But again, I just had a couple nights where I just wasn't doing much. And I really wanted to cross stitch. I did make, I think I knit like 3 inches on that though this week.
I think I'll pick my knitting up again when Bringo's over. Bringo just takes a chunk of my evenings that, you know, if I split my time up between Bringo and any other projects, there isn't really time. It's just that one extra thing. And I'm really enjoying it, and I am making progress on things. So it's fun. I like a goal. I like a good goal.
Yeah, me too. But I'm really enjoying knitting. So that's the thing I worked on this week.
Okay. Well, I worked on several things, and I actually kept track of my time, and I converted it into hours and minutes. And so I'm just going to go, most of these are because of Bringo. A couple of them are on my WIPGO too. And so the first one, the first big one that I worked on, whoopsie, was my pandemic. And oh, I meant to go back and comment. So Claire from StitchedLit started pandemic. I'm pretty sure it was her. Hot pink. Woo, mama. It is bright. I didn't get a chance to look to see what floss she was using though.
Either.
So last week I had like that much done. Yeah. I did this much in 65 minutes. So Carolyn, if you're looking at Bringo entries, I really did do an hour on this, but it's so, I am doing this over 1 on 22 count.
Is that Hardanger or something that you're doing it on?
I think I'm doing over 1 on 22 count. Let me double check. I know I kept the, oh, for pity's sakes. I know I kept the fabric thingy in here. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's 1 over 22 because it's a little bit bigger than 28. You taking your head, Ben?
Yes, I told Mom before we started. I really liked how it looked. It was cute, but it keeps sliding.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm using, is that going to focus? Yeah, Mrs. Sadis Hydrangea Silk, which it's very purple. Again, it looks way bluer here. I just can't show it to you. Just look her up online. You'll see it's a beautiful lavendery with few blue undertones. But so, whoops, I think it goes this way. That's what I did on pandemic. This will probably take me until the next pandemic to finish. Hopefully it's that long. Huh?
Which is like 100 years from now.
I hope so. I hope they'll be dead. Your daughters will be finishing it. So that was 65 minutes of my time. And then a couple of times, I think it was a couple times this week, or maybe it was last week, but again, this week it got called. It was my Halloween cat piece by Barbara Anna. So I got to work on this because this will be fun. I should have this done by next Halloween.
Yeah.
I finished this and I did this.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of I'm looking over here because that's where I see it, but I did some dark on her shoes and I started the pumpkins because, well, I don't have a picture that I can show. I took it out of the magazine because I didn't want to deal with the magazine. I didn't want to make a working copy, but she's got like over here a stand and there's like 3 pumpkins that hang down. So I worked a little bit on her and down below I still have to do the words trick or treat, but I'm getting there. It should be not hard to do. And I think, I think I mentioned before that my mania will be a whip mania with maybe new starts on the weekend. So I worked on that Halloween cat actually 3 hours and 10 minutes. I don't know why. I think I was watching something that took up a lot of my concentration because it was slow stitching. And then this is a piece that I don't think I've ever shown because it is super old. Wait a minute, where'd it go? I might have shown it when I was talking about plans. the clue for Bringo was your oldest whip. I don't really know what my oldest whip is, but I just have some really old whips. And this one is one of my old ones. It's Cricket Collection Winter Circles.
Oh,
I started here. I'm working my way around that way. And again, I worked on this for 2 hours and 23 minutes. You can't see a whole lot of progress, but it was a lot of color changes because I did some back stitching on her.
Oh.
So I did her back stitching there. I did her nose. I did her hair. I did her feather in her turban.
Oh.
I did her arms, I think, or one of her arms. I filled in over here, and I did the tree. I did. I really love it. But eventually, they're going to be on the bottom because it goes around this way. Yeah. It's really odd to work on a piece that's going around in a circle because you want to keep your piece straight. So you, even though she's at an angle, I'm stitching straight down. It's a little.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Uh-huh. It's a little weird. I was like, I gotta make sure I got my fabric oriented the right way.
Yeah, that would like.
Mm-hmm. I'm stitching straight down, but she's leaning that way. So you're working, I don't know. It was kind of a mind trick for me. I really liked it. And this is done on I'm sure it's on an even weave, and I think it's probably a 28 count. It looked like a 28 count.
It looks like the same fabric that you gave me, that piece that I inherited from you. It looks really similar to that.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I dug out all the, I used to have it in a Ziploc baggie with all the flosses, and over the years, the flosses, I mean, I probably started this, I think the pattern came out, it up like 1994, 1995. I probably started it right around there because usually when I would go to the store and buy a leaflet from Stitch and Stuff store, I usually started those projects pretty soon after I bought them. I didn't have like a ton of, I probably did have a lot of whips, but I usually started the new ones right away. Yeah. So then the other thing I worked on, and again, it's going to look like minuscule, but again, I'm doing this over one. It is the loose feathers. I worked on loose feathers summer for 98 minutes. So this is what it's looking like, going to look like. I worked on a little bit of this, and I had to do a flower for one of the Bringo things. So I started working down. I had done ABC earlier in the month.
Mm-hmm. Look at you doing a border.
Look at me.
Starting with the border.
Can't really get the flower to focus. There it is.
Cute. There's
like 2 colors of green in that little thing. And 1 color of pink. Yeah. My lighting's really bad, but it's a Classic Colorworks Wild Berries. I was missing it, so I couldn't finish this square until I went and got it, because I also did a little therapy shopping on Friday on my day off because I needed to get out of this house, and I bought some goodies, and I needed that, and I also needed that floss, and I could have ordered it and waited a long for it, but I thought, no, I bet you she's got it, and she did. Actually, she's got a really great, Threadneedle Street has a great selection of, she keeps her fancy flosses. I mean, she's really working hard to get those shipments in, you know, even though they're not very helpful. The big one that I worked on this week, well, first I'll show the smaller one. This has not made an appearance for a very long time. And it's going to make several appearances because it's on my, I think it's on my Bringo one more time, 2 more times. Okay, so this is, Sarah's just bombing along on hers, and we started at the same time, but I just kind of fell by the wayside. I'm doing mine on an 18 count. Milk and Cream Co. And it got called because it was my acrostic for the word affirm in M. And so I did this whole tree.
You're not pulling it out after all?
Oh, I am. That square hasn't been called yet, because the square that you have to frog something is going to get called, and I'm going to frog all this blue.
You're going to keep it on the same fabric, just
yeah.
When it's
I am. And because I bought the called for fancy floss. I don't like the DMC conversion, although they look pretty similar. There's just something about yours that looked like it popped more, and maybe part of it's my fabric.
Maybe.
Are you doing yours on a tan?
I'm doing tan, tea dyed, coffee dyed.
Yeah.
What do you think about doing those spirals? Because that's like the same design as these waves almost.
What do I think about it?
Yeah, what did you think about stitching that spiral?
Well, it was kind of a pain. I did the outer green, huh?
I guess what I'm asking is do you like that? Because I love stitching spirals.
Do you?
This was like so fun to stitch for me.
I mean, it was okay. It was 2 different colors. Once I got the outer border, the green done, then I went and filled in the light green and it was fine. Now, I worked on this last night, I believe. And my husband and I decided, it's today's Sunday, Friday night, we decided, oh, wait, what should we watch? You know, because that's all we do. And, you know, we watched all the Battlestar Galactica seasons, you know, earlier in the pandemic. We watched all the Marvel movies. I thought, you know what we haven't watched? We watched disaster movies. We watched San Andreas Fault. We watched, you know, all those. I said, we haven't watched Hunger Games in a really, really long time. And Hunger Games seems really, really appropriate.
Ooh, that's uplifting.
I forgot how intense.
Super intense.
So when you were talking about slow stitching when you're watching TV, yeah. I definitely stitched slow on Friday and definitely stitched slow on this. And sometimes the volume on those movies, if there's a lot of background, you know, music or noise or whatever, it's hard for Carrie and I to hear all the talking. So we have the subtitles on a lot. So I'm stitching and watching the subtitles and stitching. So anyway, so this is going to make an appearance again because it's going to be for my square project you most dread, because I have to frog it, and then it'll be for when I have to frog it. So we'll get there. I really think it's cute. I mean, it is really cute. I just have learned over the last couple of years that even though these look like cute little projects, they are a lot of stitching. And I think that I just wasn't mentally prepared for some of those, like Babushka's Garden. That pumpkin in Babushka's Garden. Oh my word. But the big granddaddy that I worked on all week was My Joyful World. And he got 6 hours and 45 minutes. And again, you'd never guess that's how long I stitched on it. But I did do quite a bit though.
Oh yeah, you did a ton.
I did that. I did the whole, I think I didn't have his head. I think part of that 6 hours involved ripping out. Had I ripped the head out last week?
I think you had ripped the head out.
Yeah, I did that last night. Did his feet. I'm off 1 stitch. So his feet only got 1 black square instead of 2 because I want the bottom to. So I just have the ground, huh?
I would never guess, and I've stitched it. So
yeah, I have to do the ground. There's a layer of 1 row of white, and then Algerian islets or Smyrna crosses in green across there. And I have to fill in the yellow here. And there's a couple other like these little snowflakey motifs around. Yeah.
Here's what the bottom looks like.
Yeah. So I got to do that bottom. Huh?
Are you using the called for greens?
Yeah. I'm really splurging on this now, and I'm using almost all fancy floss.
Yeah, yours will turn out really pretty.
Yours is pretty too. I mean, you had a lot of them.
I did, and
a lot of the major ones.
More of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So this will get done before the end of January, which feels very much like an accomplishment to me.
Yeah, totally.
It's fun, and it's an even weave, so it's easy to work on.
Yeah.
It's Stormy Night. That's a Stormy Night Lugana, I believe. 32 count. Pretty. And he pops on there pretty good. I like the way the white pops on it. Never know.
I think all the colors will really pop on that fabric.
I think so. Did you have any new starts? Oh, you did. You showed your new start. My new start, I started this morning. And when I finish my 2 hours on this piece, I will have 2 bingos because it's the pivotal square. And it is, I've been waiting, and I had to wait for my Valdani thread. So it is my Sunflower Nora Corbett.
Yeah.
Which I just realized her whole wings is a blending filament.
Oh, wow. Just the filament, or
yes.
The blue?
All that blue is blending filament.
Just blending filament, not blended.
Nope, it's a blending filament. It's one of these.
All sparkly.
probably, maybe it's a blend of those. I haven't looked. So there's a stitcher, Tina Stitches. She's got a Flosstube, and she's on the Magazine Monthly group, and she started this piece for her September start, and that's when I first found it. I was like, what?
She's not doing the wings, or she is?
She's doing the wings, but she put it on her love, on her magazine start board as love, because she has a love-hate relationship with it. And so I asked her today, I said, what are you going on? Because I haven't started mine very much. She goes, well, I don't think she's loving the colors. She's having a hard time picking the color for her wings. Oh, I know. The bluer glitter is for the outlining, and yeah. And then she's got a lot of little beads, little tiny petite beads. She's going to be so beautiful. I'm really excited about her. And I started with the Valdani today. I've never worked with Valdani silks. And it says 2 threads. They are so thin. I thought, does that mean I'm supposed to cut 2 lengths, or I'm supposed to separate them? You have to separate them. And this is my whopping big start.
Ooh, that's a lot. No. Cute.
Oh, you can kind of see the variegation in it.
Yeah. Oh, is that one color just in the
Yeah, it's this beautiful little orange. It's this one.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's pretty.
And they're very nice to work with so far. I cut them small. I didn't cut big long pieces. And this is on the same fabric, same kind of fabric as my Joyful World. It's the Stormy Night Lugana. I really do like this piece of fabric. And I think all the colors are going to be really beautiful on her. So anyway, she's finally getting started, and I'm really, really excited about her. And I'm going to work on her some more today. But that's all I worked on. Well, that was pretty good. There's a lot of minutes of stitching.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah. And you had haul?
I have a little haul.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I have, hang on, let me pull it over to me. I got a bunch of DMCs for
various projects.
For my Halloween, and then I got a bunch of the DMCs for that stitch along that we're going to start at the beginning of February. So I don't really need to show those per se, but I also got.
It doesn't call for very many. I'll show them because I bought them.
Well, I've got them right here. I just can gather.
Well, I'm going to show them on my fabric.
I don't know if I think I might have just went ahead and bought all of them, even if I
did. It only called for 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
Yeah, not very many. So I got some more flossaways because I was out, and I need to do a few more. I need to do a little bit more on my WIPGO organization plan. And I also bought white 32 count linen. Linen, not even weave. At my Hobby Lobby. Their selection of fabrics was pretty slim. Like they only had 32 count in their packets of like, I forget what the dimensions were. It was like 27 by 18 or something. So they didn't have any smaller cuts. So I got a big
in my Hobby Lobby too, because I looked and I thought, oh, I've never noticed these bigger packages before.
They used to, I feel like, carry smaller.
Maybe they're just having a shortage because of COVID.
I could be wrong. So I got one big piece of white, split it in half, so it's basically like a 9 by 13. And who I needed for that Barbara Anna, well, maybe I'll just show it. So this is
show her up. Your phone seemed to work better with glare.
And this is what we were giving away last week too. So we'll announce in a little while so obviously you can only see the part of the SAL that's going to be revealed first. So it's a mystery stitch along. And I'm assuming that that's the first clue is her face, and that's why the rest of it, that usually they kind of cloud behind if they haven't released that part of the pattern, but you can kind of see the colors in general. So I decided I love my little redhead girls in like emerald. So I decided to dye mine emerald. Let me see if I can get a good.
Oh, that turned out pretty. Yeah, that's really pretty.
Yeah, I've never done Rit dye before. I love how the trying to see if I can get, there we go. I love the variegation in the
modeling.
And it was much easier to do than I expected. I mean, I just thought there was going to be more steps involved because I feel like tea coffee dyeing, there's more like that we do.
Really?
More, but well, you have to like boil it for a long time. I mean, I followed Priscilla and Chelsea's tutorial, so I just did it like they did. And all you do is like put it in a thing, make the dye, which is just water, salt, and I just did a half a cap full, like they do a lot more fabric in one.
Yeah.
And then I just have this, like, I had it wadded up in a little aluminum tin.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any dishes. Apparently you're not supposed to cook out of the dishes that you dye in. You probably, I mean, I don't know.
I do all the time. So either I'm killing everybody.
You're killing us all. I don't know. I just felt a little nervous because I didn't really research, and I was like, well, I just have this little, like a Costco pie tin from like a pumpkin pie I bought there. So I just wadded it up kind of like this, poured the dye over it, squished it, poured it over, squished it, dumped the dye out, baked it, rinsed it. That's all, right?
That's it. Did you rinse your fabric before you did it? I always rinse my fabric before I dye it.
And I think it was just cool water, but then I used
to get the sizing off of it. I don't know if it really matters.
Oh, so pretty. I feel like my lighting is just a little bit bright right now, so it's kind of having a hard time.
I think it's very pretty.
I think that's going to be so pretty with the red hair.
Do you have your flosses there?
Oh yeah, perfect. I do. Actually, I don't know if the white is one of them. I might have just picked up.
I don't think white's one of them.
I think I just picked up B5200 because.
Yeah, because it's there.
So yeah, I don't remember if this is every single color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 7 here, so maybe I already knew I had a few on hand or something. But yeah, look at those. That's going to be.
What is your lighter pink one?
The light pink is 750.
No, do you have 356?
Yeah, that's the same.
Your lighting looked a little different than mine. Yeah, looks rosier. She's gonna be good. She's gonna be gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Grab my flosses.
I know. Some people just are like gorgeously.
Maybe I'm just uncoordinated. I don't feel like I'm a really uncoordinated person.
My daughter.
Do this stuff. I'm like all arms and legs. Here we go. There. That's pretty.
It's gonna be really pretty.
Gold against that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That light's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Isn't that gonna be so pretty? Oh my gosh. So that starts February 1st. So if you're gonna stitch that along with us.
And everybody else, I guess, is stitching it.
The color. I mean, you could stitch that on white or anything, but this is time. It's time for me to branch out and dye.
Yeah.
The last thing I bought, this is just.
I love dyeing.
There may or may not be a baby gift coming from this, so I don't know if the person who's going to receive this baby gift watches regularly or not, so I don't really want to say much more than that, but I thought this was really cute.
That's pretty.
I loved the olive with the pink.
Yeah.
So more on that in the future. That's my whole haul. You have haul too.
I have Holly. I went to my needlework store, like I said, on Friday.
About these for that little.
For what? Oh, for the project?
Or maybe a secret project that might or might not be done.
Oh. I did a trifecta, man. I went to, well, yesterday was Home Goods. That was like, oh my gosh, that was so fun. And then, but Friday I went to my needlework store and Hobby Lobby and Trader Joe's because they're all right by each other. And I like that Trader Joe's better than my own. So
otherwise, you just described my like perfect day out.
Dad said, "Why are you going to?" I said, "He goes, why are you going to Issaquah?" I go, "You know why I'm going to Issaquah." He goes, "You just need to get out of the house." I said, "I need to get out." I do, and I just need to get out. I sit here all week and I don't go anywhere, and it's okay. But sometimes you just want to get out. So anyway, I bought fabric also at the needlework store for Barbara Anna, and I wanted an even weave, but I wanted it to be 32 count. And so I don't know if my needlework lady said that they don't make a 32 count even weave or she didn't have it, but she did have a piece of fabric that.
That's not, she must just not have it because I'm stitching. No, wait. No, I'm stitching 28 count even weave. Okay, maybe she's right.
Maybe I said Lugana. I think I said 32 count Lugana. Do they make a 32 count Lugana?
I would be really surprised if they.
Well, either they didn't or she didn't have it, but she had a piece of fabric flare. And apparently that comes from England. And it's an even weave also. And so I bought a piece that was off-white. And the interesting thing about it is they only dye one side of the fabric. Doesn't matter because I decided to go with a different color. I thought I love the golds and stuff on purpley and eggplanty, and I have never stitched on a piece of, so I bought eggplant dye, eggplant colored dye, and this is what I ended up with. And that's turning out way more purpley than it is.
Oh, so it's actually more of a darker reddish purple.
Yeah, that's turning out way too purple. It's, well, maybe I'll do this side. I think one side is darker than the other. So I've got.
What you feel like is a good color, I'll put it on the end too. If you take a picture of what you feel like is a good representation.
Yeah, I'll try. Purple's really hard to photograph. I know when I used to knit, I would try to do purple yarn. So there's my colors. And I was worried at first that these weren't going to show up, but I think they're going to just fine.
I better find that blue. I wonder if I didn't buy that. Why didn't I buy that blue?
It's $7.99. Maybe you had it.
Yeah, I just knew I had it. Maybe I did look through my floss before I shopped.
But this color, I love the idea of that color on there. And these will show up fine, I think. I only put a half a cap full in also. And I baked it for quite a long time because for some reason mine never gets dry as fast as theirs do. Or maybe they hang, but I then popped it in the microwave to finish it off.
And then did you feel like that was beneficial?
Yeah, 1 minute it was done. But mine, funny thing is it's got little, can you see the little dots? The little speckles?
Huh? Yeah.
I've never had a fabric speckle like that. And I don't know, I know different fabrics take dye differently. Isn't that crazy?
That's
I don't mind it. I just was really surprised. So that was a big part of my haul. I also bought Flossaways. And I bought a pattern because I, don't have enough patterns to put in my stash.
No, not enough at all.
I'm going to take it out of the plastic so it doesn't have a glare. I'd seen this on Instagram. I think I had favored it. It is by, who's it by? Cottage Garden Samplings.
Oh, it's the same one as my, oh yeah, that popped up when I was Googling them to look for, I loved that one. I remember thinking, oh,
that's so cute. I dread the idea of stitching all that white.
Yeah.
But I think he's so jolly. My mom would have loved this.
Less white than it looks because it's just filling in where there's no scarf. And I mean, it is a lot of white still, but it's not.
A lot of white. Yeah, if you get all the other stuff stitched, you're just stitching around it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought, oh, he just looked jolly and cute. And I love this little garland around him and the little, I don't know, I loved everything about him. And I had seen it, like I said, online, and then it just happened to be in her rack right by the cash register. And I thought, oh, I'm getting that. So that's really all the haul I have.
You. Okay, so we have, what's left? Giveaways?
Just giveaways.
Book talk, if you have anything booky. I brought my book that I was reading.
Oh.
Grabbed it off my nightstand. So I'm still reading the same one that I talked about a few weeks ago, but I am going to finish it this week. I've been reading about 10 pages a night. I think I've about 40 pages left, so I should be done with it in the next few days. And then I'm going to start. I had picked up another book that I'll start reading, and then I'll talk about that next time.
That's the second one, right?
This is the second Maisie Dobbs novel by Jacqueline Winspear.
Yes.
And it's set post World War I. And I won't do a lot of repeat of what we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but it's great. It's really enjoyable. The characters are really likable. Oh, maybe I won't finish it this week. Yeah, I should finish it this week. I thought I was further along. It's hard for me to put it down because I'm kind of at the climax where they're about to solve the mystery. So I'm longer at night than I.
Yes, her books kind of do that.
It's pretty slow and gentle through most of it, and then boom, it's like speeding up really fast.
I feel like her earlier books, the mystery reveal at the end is more intense than they are in the later books. It's a little more gentle reveal, whereas I think in her earlier books they're like, woo, all of a sudden there's all this flurry. So I'm still reading The Keeper of Lost Things. Can I even, it's such a pretty cover.
Get it closer to the camera and then tilt it. There you go. Oh, that is pretty.
By Ruth Hogan. And it's an interesting style. I think I talked about it. There's somebody that was collecting all these lost things that he would find. And now I'm at a place in the book where somebody else is taking over the job of trying to reunite all these items with their owners, right? But as the person that now has inherited all these items, and there's other characters that are being developed, there's also a storyline that's happening like in 1984, and this is happening present day. And somehow those storylines, it's been revealed a little bit how they're connected to me, and I'm not sure how it's going to go. But meanwhile, as this girl is now inherited all these things, it's written so like she'll go into the study and she'll pick up an item and look at it, and then all of a sudden there's like a little vignette in italic, and you don't know if the original guy wrote because he was an author, wrote what he thought the story was behind this item, or if this is really the story behind this item. And like one of them that I just read was pretty shocking. Like it was really like, whoa, I didn't see that coming with that. You know what I mean? Like quirky. Some of them are quirky. Some of them are sad. Some of them are, I think I've read within the book, there's like maybe 5 items that I've read the vignette for. So it's an interesting style. I really do like it. It took me a minute to figure out, wait, what's going on here? But I still don't know. Hopefully he reveals that this is what he's written, and maybe, or I missed it somewhere early on when I was starting and stopping this book, but I don't think I would have. I think I would have caught that. So anyway, it's kind of gotten me hooked now. It's taken me a little while to get into it. And there is a character that's been introduced. She's the neighbor of this girl that's living in this house now, and her name's Sunshine. And I think the way she's described, I think she's meant to be, you expect her, she probably has Down syndrome. And so she's very sweet, and it's just it's a sweet character and friendship developing between her and this gal that's kind of hardened off to the world because of some hurts in her life. So anyway, it's a good book. If you're just looking for nothing too deep, I mean, I think there is some deep meanings. You know, there's some deep themes of loss and regret and stuff, but I think there's also going to be, you know, hope and hope in moving forward kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm reading a little bit every night, more so now than I have been almost all of last year, but partly because I got hooked into it.
Yeah, I feel like I try to read 10 pages of something every night. And for a little while in the Christmas time, I have a harder time doing that because I'm going to bed a little later as I'm wrapping gifts. But for most of the year, I really do watch or read. Mm-hmm. It really helps me wind down to read, and not on my phone. Now you have a Paperwhite, and I think that's like more like reading a book. But I feel like screens kind of keep me alert, even if I can read a little bit on my Kindle, but then I usually really benefit if I pick up a physical book and read. Yeah. For a few minutes even, I fall asleep really fast if I do that usually.
I have about 5 books right now on my nightstand that are physical books that I really want to read. The problem for me is the way our bedroom is situated and the way our bed is angled in the corner, is that my light on my nightstand is pretty far away from me. And so if I lay on my side to read, my book blocks the light, and I don't want to turn I've got like a lower light and an upper light. And my husband always goes to bed before me. So I really need to just grab his book light. He has a really nice book light, and just read with those. Cause I've got 2 Maisie Dobbs in hardcover. I'm 2 behind. And my future daughter-in-law gave me a couple of books for my birthday. And I have another one that I found that it was being talked about online, something about penguins. It's kind of like that book, Bernadette, Where Did You Go? Did you read that?
I did.
I think this book is meant to be a little bit like that, kind of quirky like that. So anyway, hopefully I'll get to those this year.
That's one of the first books I read when I kind of started reading again after Rosie was born. So I kind of stopped reading for a little bit when Lydia and Millie were tiny because I just didn't have, I was just tired and didn't have good rhythms and stuff. And then after Rosie was born, I really had I think I kind of had some anxiety and stuff, and I was having a hard time sleeping. And that's when I started listening to audiobooks and reading. And Where'd You Go, Bernadette is one of the first books I think I picked up again after that. I must have heard it recommended somewhere, maybe on a podcast I was listening to or something. And anyway, I liked it a lot. It was really quirky and interesting.
Yeah.
So that's another fun one if you haven't read that. It is.
Tell us Tell us what you're reading in the comments.
Yeah, leave a comment. I enjoyed, somebody said a couple weeks ago that one of their favorite authors is Elizabeth Gooch, who's like probably my top 2. I don't know. I have a hard time picking favorite authors because there's so many wonderful ones, but
yeah,
I like kind of save. I have a few of her books on my shelf that I'm saving, like because I love them so much. I like don't even want to read them yet. Like I'm waiting.
Read anything by her?
Oh, you should. I should. I don't know which one, but I started with The Scent of Water, but my favorite I've read maybe is The Dean's Watch, and it's big. I mean, it's really beautiful. I love her writing. All right.
Okay. We had a giveaway winner.
We have a giveaway winner from last week because we're giving away. So somebody gave us a copy of Barbara Anna. What's it called? I have it on my phone.
Dreaming. I think it's just the Dreaming Girl.
Dreaming Girl, the one I just showed, the one that we're getting set to start in February. So we decided to give away a copy of that to a viewer. So the winner for the Dreaming Girl Barbara Anna designs, the mystery SAL that she's doing, is Sue Allen. So congratulations, Sue. Congrats. And send us your email us, which is down in the description box below, and we will mail that off when we get your physical address.
How are we going to do this?
Need an email. Well, email us that you give us your email address, and I need to figure out. That's right, because I'm going to do a digital copy because they're only PDFs. So yes, I need to figure out exactly how we're going to get that to you. The person who gave it to me ended up giving me PayPal money so I could buy it. But if I can buy it for you and just have it sent to your email address, that's probably what I'd like to do. So yes, email us your email address, because then I think I can use your email address to probably get it sent to you. But I have to double check that. But that's probably the best way to get started.
If they don't and you buy it and have it sent to you, can you then forward it to her?
I maybe could do that. I'm not sure what like the ethics of. I have to kind of look at the website.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking the whole point of buying it is to give it to a person. So it's not like you're sharing it. You already have your copy. You're gifting her a copy.
Exactly. So
it's a separate bought pattern.
Right, exactly. But I couldn't buy 2 copies at one time, but I already have mine, so I only need to buy 1. So let's just start with you emailing me, and we'll figure out how to go from there. So Sue, congratulations. Email us. Let us know that you saw this and that we can have your email address.
Yeah.
And then our giveaways for next week, we have 2. So these were gifted to us. This one for sure was from Rhonda Smith. So Rhonda sent us this.
Hold it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I will. It's a little needle keep. It's called Abby's Needle Keep, and it's from Scattered Seed Samplers. And this is what it really looks like. So
it's so cute.
It's a little bunny, and it says pins and needles on this part of it. It's a little needle keep, and then sorry, the glare is bad because I have it in the plastic still, but this is a picture of it finished as a needle keep. It's just a little piece of felt inside a finished book. And it calls for just DMC.
Cute.
I'm assuming it has I'm sure it has all the directions for finishing it the way that it looks. Yeah, it must, because it's quite a bit of paper here. It also has the alphabet included, so you can use your own initials, of course, and your own numbers for the year, and directions for finishing it. So that's one, and I thought I had an idea of what we could do for this, but I didn't write it down. Do you have any ideas for a word to use in the comment if you're interested in the rabbit?
Hold on, I'm being distracted. Oh, sure. Did you ask me a question? Dad just came home.
No. Yes. I said I had an idea for the word to use in the comment for this, but I can't remember what. And I'm struggling. There we go. I got it back in the plastic.
Something.
I had a good idea too, and I can't remember it.
Accessory. That's a hard word.
No, yeah, don't do accessory.
Pins, needles. You didn't tell me what it was, so I can't help you.
Dude, I don't know. Okay, hang on. I'm going to think about it in a second while I talk about this other one. This other one, I can't remember if somebody sent this to me or if this is something like I bought a long time ago, because I think it's one I bought a long time ago at a going out of business kind of sale.
Oh yeah.
It's down to $1, but normally it was $8. But it's this little count your blessings. It's not a kit. It's just the design, but it does have the little sheep charm.
Cute.
Really, it also just calls for DMC, but really you could use any colors on this and like make it into a springy, I'm sorry, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I were to do it, I would do like reds and blues or something. I would change the colors completely, but you could stitch it these colors if you like it kind of fallish.
Yeah.
So the one I was thinking about for this one in the comments is leave something that you have found to be a blessing this week, someone or something, and use the word blessing if you're interested in Count Your Blessings from Elizabeth's Designs.
Okay.
And yeah, just use the word needle in your comment for this. Or yeah, needle.
I'm writing this down.
Tell us what needle size you use, or if you like a specific needle. I'm always interested in people's preferences. But needle, if you're interested in the pin key.
Yeah.
And blessing, just singular blessing, like a blessing in my life this week was. And then
I'm right. Needle or needles?
single, needle.
Needle or blessing? Singular.
Singular. And that is important because when I search for the comment, like I use a online thing that searches through the comments for a specific text. So if you don't do it exactly like we say, it just shuffles your thing out. And I kind of try to go and see if there's a lot that used a different word, but normally everybody is kind of doing it right.
Blessing.
But blessing and needle, both are singular.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested, enter those.
And also, if you started something new last week or this week, tell us what you're starting.
Yeah, we love
more ideas. We don't have enough going on them. We don't have enough going.
Okay. We need a few more starts, everybody. Please enable us.
Ridiculous.
I enable you, you enable us. It's a circular cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really have. Do you have anything else?
Nope, I do not. I wish I wasn't having to make dinner tonight, but I am.
We're going out to eat this week after all that drama last week. Were we talking last week on the video about yeah. And so
you went and got food.
I went and got teriyaki and picked it up and brought it home. And then tonight I was like getting things ready I was going to do like an egg dish and do kind of breakfast for dinner tonight. And Jesse goes, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm getting dinner ready. He goes, no, I think we're going to go out to eat tonight. I was like, oh, he remembered that I don't like to cook on Sundays. So we're going out. We're probably just going to go to fast food or something inexpensive. But
well, we went out last night because I wasn't feeling that great. Plus, we normally eat out Saturday night when we Zoom with our friends for dinner. And we didn't Zoom last night because they were up visiting family and they weren't home. They were just on their way home. So she said, well, let's do it tomorrow night. And Carrie and I both have tomorrow off, so there's not really any big pressure to get our evening done. So, but because he bought me dinner last night, I don't think he's gonna buy me dinner this night. Maybe if I really play up how crappy I feel. Honey, my arm hurt. Huh?
Either that or top ramen, honey.
And he loves top ramen so much.
Yeah, I bet he does.
His favorite. But you know what? He's on to me now. When I threaten those things, he'll just say, okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. And then you end up not wanting to eat the thing you're threatening. So you kind of in the foot.
I did break down when I went to Trader Joe's and I bought some of I like their frozen fried rice. And sometimes we'll just cook up some chicken and put that in there. And
you know what I love at Trader Joe's, and we're almost out, are those dumplings, the soup dumplings.
Oh, the soup dumplings.
That's like the thing I wish we had a Trader Joe's for right now. So I bought like a bunch when we were there, and we've eaten them all up because I want to eat them every day for lunch. I love them.
We'll come back over and visit, and you can get some more.
Me too.
I'm safe now. I should be 50% protected now.
Okay. Well,
I think, and I also bought some it's like a glazed shrimp, like a little bit, I think they're a little bit breaded, glazed shrimp with like a walnut. I know you can't eat walnuts, but I think I can when they're cooked. And so I think I'm either going to just cook those over jasmine rice or cook up some fried rice and throw those in there. I'm not sure, but it won't be a fancy dinner, but I'm kind of at that place in my life. Huh?
To me, shrimp is a fancy dinner. That's
Well,
like,
it is. And the thing about Trader Joe's is that, their prepackaged stuff is pretty good, but it's not cheap, and it's not very feasible to do when you have a family.
No.
Because they're like 2 servings in a package.
They're not really meant for like large families.
No, they're not. No. And I don't even do it that often for Dad and I, but once in a while.
Yeah.
We break down. So anyway, well.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us with our chit chat.
Yeah, looks like you at least have sunshine. We don't.
It's been warm. The kids, Rosie came in earlier and she goes, "Can we play barefoot?" And I said, "No, it's January. It might feel warm to you because you're playing soccer, but it's not warm." It is actually pretty warm, but 48 is a little cold for barefoot to me still.
It's not warm.
I know. They kept their shoes on. But she was playing outside in a t-shirt, and I just don't even battle the coat thing. I figure they're old enough, if they're cold, they'll put on coats.
They'll put on their coat, yeah.
Shoes, I do battle into like a little while longer. Like
something about feet, cold feet.
Yeah, I feel like no, you don't even.
Yeah, no, we might get cold enough for snow next week, but now they're saying there won't be any moisture, so end of next week. So probably just have cold and no snow. I want snow.
I kind of have a feeling our February is going to get cold and snowy. That's what it kind of does when it's like this in January, but we'll see.
Yeah. So anyway, well, you guys have a great week. Stay safe. Be well.
Yeah. Leave us a comment, like, subscribe, share, whatever the things that we're supposed to say. Do those.
Stimulate the economy. We're here to help you.
Yeah.
This is a really cute pattern. You might want to look into it.
All right.
Love you.
See you all next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.